Hello, I'm Board Game Hobby.
And I'm Board Game Wife.
And today we're doing a very exciting list, a top 10 list of our 10 favorite games from the year 2022.
Boom.
And let's just get right started. Let's get started. Let's get right started. Let's get started. Let's get started right now. I believe I was trying to say.
Let's get right into it. That's what you usually say.
Let's get right into it. My 10th favorite game from last year is Long Shot the Dice Game. Long Shot the Dice Game is a dice roll and write sort of game, a racing game. Basically, you're betting on horses and manipulating how they move, and getting bonuses and all that good combo-y stuff from like roll and rides.
Yeah.
It plays up to, I believe, 7-8 players. Something.
Yeah, you can be a lot of people.
You can be a lot of people, which I enjoy. This is one of the games, maybe the game that I've played the most on my top 10, with the most groups also. And it's just almost always a hit. A couple of friends weren't that keen on it, but every other group has loved it very much, and they just want me to bring it always. Yeah, I just really like this game.
Yeah, you were super excited when you brought it home to me after I've been playing it with other people. You were like, we're gonna love this game. Let's play.
Yeah, we tried it to play as well, yeah.
Yeah, exciting to see if it's in my top 10.
Exciting. I don't predict it will be, but I might be surprised.
Well, my number 10 favorite game from the year 2022 is The Two Heirs.
Wow.
It is. The more times I've played it, I've loved it even more. It's a tile-laying, puzzly kind of game, where you are trying to score as many points as possible with the tiles that you are placing, and they all impact each other. And I get a craving to play the game, and there's some very nice strategic thinking and thinking ahead and trying to predict your opponent's next move, and you feel like it's possible to do it without it's obvious. So I feel like my thinking is well spent. So I enjoyed the game. It's my number 10.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I think very good decisions. It's a 1 to 2 player game, so if you're like a fan of Carcassonne or tile laying and you want that sort of experience,
but fitted for 2 people.
But fitted for 2 people or solo, it's a good pick. Nice one.
Thank you.
All right.
My number 9 is Challenges.
Wow, I wasn't sure if this would be on your top 10.
When I did my rating, I was like, well, I like Challenges better than this one, and then apparently it ended in my...
It challenged all the other picks.
Yeah, it did. It did. I didn't foresee this myself. It's 1 versus 1, but you can play it as a tournament style where other people are playing at the same time. Kind of deck building game, with some good decisions between getting less awesome cards or one more awesome card, and how they interact with each other, and
you're hoping to find synergies in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And basically, this is like you used the word deck build, and it is deck building, but it's a very simple game. It's like
a very
War
simple game.
Plus.
War Plus, yeah. And the tournament style, we tried that once. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I didn't win, did I? No, I didn't, but I definitely...
You won all the battles up to the final.
I owned the rest of you, and then I lost the final. And
the only one that mattered.
It was because I needed to have trashed one card that I didn't. I should just have been thinking for 30 seconds more, and I didn't. Yeah.
Which goes to show, like, a lot of people like, are there even meaningful decisions in this game? But there are. It's simple, it's family weight, but there are decisions.
It's family weight, but there are decisions that are impactful.
Yeah, I just love the mishmash theme of it. Yeah, no, it's a very good pick. All right, my 9th game is Kingdom's Dragons.
What? Okay.
Yeah, we played this for the first time down in Essen with a Danish couple. Brought it home, bought it on the spot, brought it home, played it with one of our.
And that was the only game you didn't have planned on buying. That was a game you tried and you loved it.
Yeah, I bought it because of how amazing it was when we played it. It makes a very good first impression, I would venture, with most gaming groups.
Absolutely.
It's family weightish. Like you can introduce it to a family. Like the one introducing might need to be a gamer, but other than that, it's introductory level ish. So what I like about this game is it's a game of like a blind bidding. Like you're using tokens, so it ranges from like 1 to 6. You all have the same tokens, and you're putting them down face down on a bunch of like worker
9 actually.
1 to 9, okay, on a bunch of worker placement spots.
And then you are fighting to get that spot.
Yeah. And sometimes there are more rewards, sometimes there's only one reward, so you need to be the highest. And they're resolved sequentially. And that matters. And I love that. Like I love how you're putting into action a plan. So I'm counting on winning this number 2 spot, so I can do what I want when we get to number 7. So I can get into the castle and get the relic or whatever I want. Good decisions, a lot of bluffing, like looking at each other and being like, I don't think you put down a high number there. I think you're just bluffing me, or
maybe you have a special effect card that flips us on its head, and
yeah. This is a game I don't think looks that astonishing.
It doesn't.
And it's based on an old design, but it just feels like a classic to me.
Me too. I agree.
It's a game that's easy to teach, easy to remember, and one that I would love to introduce to people.
And your number 8?
And my number 8th game is another one that I very much like, and that I think will be higher on Kathrine's list. My number 8th favorite game is Tribes of the Wind.
Okay.
It is a medium weight Euro puzzle type game, like you're getting tiles, putting them down, trying to get points, and the main hook to this game is that usually in these games, the Euro games, a lot of them are called multiplayer solitaire. Like you're just doing your own thing, heads down, and you don't care what the other people are doing. But in this game, you have a hand of cards that dictates your options.
Yeah.
So and there are different colors.
Because both the back and the front of the card matters.
Yeah. So on the front, I can see what I like possible actions, but on the backs are colors and different colors. So I can look at Kathrine's hand, and she has like 2 green and 1 red. And if I have more red than her, then maybe one of my cards say, if I have more red cards, I can do this improved action. If I have the same, I can only do this slighter weaker action.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't want any of a certain color. But it's just that core hook of you're always interested in what the other players have in their hands. And you can see the backs of the cards you're pulling. So I know I need more green cards, so I pull green cards, even though I don't know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's a very satisfying game to me. Like it's not overly thinkly, it's not a brain burner. It just fits right in that middle spot for me.
Yeah,
just
completely
deliciousness, beautiful artwork by Vincent Dutrait. Very much like this game.
Well, my number 8 is Kingdom's Dragons.
Oh, wow!
It is also on my list, and I don't have a lot more to add. But yeah, it does not look like a game I think would be fun. But I had so much fun playing it, and I think I lost every single time I played it. But I just have fun, and I feel like I make good decisions. And even if you win just one of the worker placement spots, it feels like a tiny win.
That's a good point. Like there are a lot of tiny victories in this game. Yeah. No, I really like it. I feel like this was we used to have like or still have Bunny Kingdom as one of our go-tos in a core gaming group, and then Stockpile came in there, and I feel like this has the potential to be that next one that we just keep returning to.
Completely agreed.
Yeah.
My number 7 is Libertalia. Is that how I say it?
Libertalia, Winds of Gale Crystal. Wow, I wasn't sure this would make it.
No, me neither. I've been quite surprised with my top 10. This is I don't even, what type of game would I call this?
It's a simultaneous action card playing game.
What he said.
So
no, I want to explain.
Yeah.
Right. So every single turn or every single round in the game, you draw cards from a pile, and then the other players get the exact same cards that you can play, but where you play them and when you play them and the number on them impacts when you play it and what you get, and it just like snowball rolling down the mountain. What is it called?
It's the snow.
No, it doesn't.
You know what we mean.
You know what we mean. The thing.
the thing. We
thing
mean the thing.
And the all, and you. So it does all impacts from the card you draw to when you place them, and what you get and what you can do next, and what other players have played. And then some cards move on to the next round, but other cards don't. And when do you play a card that's good, and when do you keep it and make them have interact, or have, what is that?
Have synergy or something.
Have a synergy. I really enjoy that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
No,
All
I
right.
agree. I might have more to say on this later. We will see.
We'll see. Okay, you're quiet now. Okay, so you're number 7.
So my number 7. All right. Well, I will have more to say about now.
Wow.
My 7th favorite game is Libertalia Winds of Gilchrist. I agree with everything you said. It's that, and I played the original as well. And this is like a new version of it with improved graphics. Well, some don't agree. The original one just had a straight pirate theme. This is more fantasy animals thing.
I like
and
the theme.
Sky Pirates, I like it as well. And some other upgrades. But what I really like is just the fact that you all have the same starting point. Like you all get the same cards throughout the game, but you play them in different order, or some of them you might even play whereas others might play them, and some of them, you, like you said, you get to carry over. Like you get to carry over like 2 cards each round, and then the next round. Well, if we all get a super powerful card the first round, but I don't play mine the first round, on the second round I'm the only one who can play that. Yeah, and I might get a big benefit from that, and stuff like that. I think it's very simple, but I like the fact that you all start with the same and you can just choose your own. And
you're trying so hard to predict what other players will be doing, and therefore should you play that card or that card. It never really succeeds very well to try and predict others, but it's fun to try.
Yeah, and also you're also like each mini round of the game, or each turn, you're getting like loot, and it's so again like mini victories. You often feel like you're getting something. Sometimes you're getting something bad. Oh well.
Or you can sabotage each other.
You can sabotage us. It's just a lot of moments of like, ooh, nice, I got that. Or, ooh, nice, I played that at the right time. Or oh, dang, I didn't play at the right time. But it's still exciting. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Me too.
My 6th favorite game from last year is a 2-player game called Caper Europe.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not sure it made it on your list because it's been a while since we played it, so it might
have a bit of reason. Bias.
Yeah, maybe you don't like it as much too. I do. I don't know. But Caper Europe is a 2-player game, a tug of war game. You're like and a drafting game, so you get a hand of like thieves, robbers they can draft from, and then you place them out onto one of 3 locations, and those are the locations you're fighting over, and then you draw loot cards like. Boost how you're doing the different spots, or you're scoring, and it's just essentially, and it has a lot of variability. So the 3 locations can change, the cards, the thieves can change, the loot cards can change. It's a very simple, neat concept. This is a re-implementation of the original Caper,
and it's a rather small game also.
A small game. Yeah, I just really like it. Good streamlined package. I love tug of war. It feels like those games almost always are exciting and close, nail biters. Really like it.
Nice pick. My number 6 might suffer from a bit of reverse recency bias.
Interesting.
So it's Tactiki.
Ah, yeah.
We only play 1 or 2 rounds of it while in Essen.
Yeah.
And I was just hooked. I usually do not like abstract games, which this is kind of like a small scale but more complex Stratego.
Yeah, a 2-player Stratego-ish game. Yeah,
Stratego is mostly 2-player, though.
Yeah, but there are 3-player and 4-player variants. But you're right.
but it's a small scale. I think you only have like 5 tiles per person, maybe 6.
I think
but very few. It's not like you have a lot of tiles and you're moving them around and only level 1, 2, or 3. But I was just hooked, and I felt like it was such fun to try and work out what Michael would be doing and what his different little totem heads was. And they respawn kind of on the board if you choose to do so. And I just really enjoyed that aspect of it, trying to defend my end and trying to get into his, but in a much more neat and much more complex package than Stratego is.
Yeah, no, I really liked it as well. We wanted to buy it, but there wasn't any stock, unfortunately, at the convention. Yeah, I agree. Like, it feels tactile wise, it feels very great with the totem poles, and like when you're trying to capture or compare, like you put down your totem pole thing and you turn around and see, what's my number?
Very annoyed with me that I didn't want to turn it around. I was like, I was a 2. But no, you have
to do the thing.
I want the experience. Come on.
Yeah, and then the fact that you can respawn the pieces is a big difference from Stratego. So if you like Stratego, or that was the only thing you didn't like about Stratego, is that once your piece is out, it's out. Well, then maybe Tactigo is worth a try. I very much liked it.
Is it my number 5 now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
My number 5 is Evergreen. I really loved photosynthesis when Michael introduced it to me, but Evergreen is like an improved version of that. So it's a tile placement game where you grow your tiles taller because it's trees in a forest, and you are trying to make sure they are not blocked from the sun so they can grow higher and more efficiently and better and be worth more points than your opponent. And I just love how you are trying, it's kind of puzzly in that way, because you're trying to place your trees and grow them in a way that maximizes your points by the placement of them and the evolving of them. So the board is ever changing like that, and you're trying to think ahead to how it should be worked out. And I really, really enjoy that.
No, I really enjoy this one as well. Spoiler, it's not my top 10, but one I think has the potential to make it there. I think it's very beautiful. I'm not a big fan of photosynthesis. Like, I want to love it, but I just don't. I like Evergreen. It's definitely in my top 15-ish or something. I think it's beautiful. I love the drafting aspect of like picking a card both for its terrain or territory type and the action you can. So like you move on different tracks,
right? And
then the card you leave behind dictates scoring or impacts scoring, because then it's added to like one of the scoring piles. So that's a neat decision. I like this one.
Completely agree. And your number 5?
My number 5 is definitely not on your list because you haven't played it. It is another 2-player game. It is called Mindbuck First Contact. It is a dueling card game, a trading card game-esque. So like you haven't played it, but like were you about to yawn?
Yeah, I was about to yawn.
You can yawn. You don't have to hold back a yawn.
I would rather make a funny face than yawn.
All right, motto of your life. All right, so so Mindbuck is a dueling card game. It's sort of like Magic the Gathering, but it plays in 10 minutes. I know you haven't played Magic the Gathering, but I think you have some sense of, you've heard about it, right? It's a big game by Richard Garfield.
It's a big game.
Yeah. So, and actually Richard Garfield also co-designed this game with a Danish designer. I can't remember the designers' names. I think it's a trio. It'll be down on the bottom. But it's punchy. It's quick. I love like the animals in it. It's like monsters, like hybrid animals. So it's like a snail combined with a lizard. So it's snails art. I don't know. That was a bad example. Yeah, but it's
A
like
for effort.
Yeah, but it's a mixture of like different monsters, animals, and stuff. And they each have simple abilities. It's very simple to learn, but it feels very good to play. It has this Mindbuck mechanism where, so usually in games, and you just mix up the cards from the same stack of cards, and you get 10 and I get 10 or something like that. And then usually in games, if you get a good draw, that sucks for me, right? But if you play a good card in this game, I have 2 opportunities during the game to say, actually, I want that card. I'm using one of my Mindbucks to Mindbuck it, and it goes over to my side, and you take your turn again.
That's a fun twist.
Yeah, it's a very fun twist.
And also rather annoying, I would say.
Yeah, but then you also have 2 Mindbucks, so I don't know, it adds a sort of balance, or at least the imitation of a balance to this game. I really like it. Yeah, it's a keeper for me. All right. My 4th favorite game from last year is one that I could also see rising even more. It's one that we've actually, and it reminds me of our last year's top 10, it's one that we've only played once, and it's because it's a game that takes a while to play.
Yeah.
Like around 3 hours, at least the first time you played it. It is Revive.
Yeah.
It is by one or more of the designers that also did Santa Maria. which we also love.
Which we also love, yeah.
It's a strategic Euro game, a somewhat lengthy one. You can play it as sort of a campaign, so you play it like the base version, and then you read some story, and 1 or 2 rules are added, maybe 1 or 2 new components, stuff like that. And it's just like an exploration type game, like you're on a map and you're exploring outwards to get towards like the outer reach,
scoring kind of,
like some scoring tiles on the outer reaches. You're trying to collect artifacts. That's like how the game is ended when they're all collected. And you also have like your own player board where you're placing cards, and when you place cards in certain slots, you trigger bonuses. Like it's very bonus combo-tastic. You can upgrade abilities, get abilities, move along on tracks on your board, all that sort of Euro goodness. And the theme is okay.
The theme is okay.
A post-apocalyptic theme. I think it doesn't speak to me as much as one. I think maybe I don't personally love the color. But I really like the game.
It's a good pick.
Yeah.
It's hard to rank because we only ever played it once, and we were still learning while playing it. I think we redid some decisions a couple of times because we were confused.
No, I think you're thinking of a different game, because I actually think this game is easy to, once you played it once, it's easy to return to, because you have those 5 different actions and they're actually simple enough. I think it's just how to optimize your actions. Like you can maybe have some analysis paralysis.
I disagree. I feel like I went back on something I did because I misunderstood something. But whatever, it's not a difficult game in that sense.
Yeah.
My number 4 is Tribes of the Wind.
Oh.
So it was here.
It was almost the top 3.
Almost. So it was perfectly. It's in your top 10, maybe top 3. Perfectly guessed.
Yeah.
I don't have much more to add. I think we had a rather thorough conversation about it, but I really do enjoy the fact that it's a Euro game where you are completely dependent on what your opponent does.
Yeah.
And what cards your opponent has, and how you can manipulate your own hand based on what you think they are about to do, if you dare.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy but meaningful, fun decisions.
Absolutely.
Like it's easy to just say, I need red cards, I'll grab a red card and hope for the best, and maybe you get what you want, but at least you got a red card, so you got some of what you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So my number 3.
Ooh, this is the really good stuff. These are the actual good games.
These are I would argue that all of my top 10 games are good games. But number 3 is actually Flamecraft.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. I wasn't sure if we would be making it since we reached this far. Yeah.
But we played it a couple of times, and we only played it us 2, and I think it's so much better 3 people. So I have also kind of given it the benefit of the doubt, because I strongly believe that it's even better with 3 people.
I think you're right, because you're going to certain locations, and every time there's different areas to visit. It's fun if there's 3 people fighting over them. Not just,
it's kind of worker placement where, and as usual, you can't be where other people are unless you're paying, and that element kind of vanishes when there's only one other player. But I love the theme and the artwork. I would just look at it just because it's cute and it's colorful and it makes me happy to look at. And I love worker placement games, and I loved all the synergies with it, and trying to manipulate where the cards were placed and how, because they're moving around a lot based on what actions you do and what cards you have in your hand. And I just want to play this game more, and why did our 3rd player, when we were playing 3 games, just have a baby? What is that? What is that?
No, I really like this game. We have the deluxe version with upgraded components, which I think doubles the price of the game. Many people would not find it worth it, but I do think it adds to the game. Like you have the dragon figures and all that.
I think actually that impacts it a lot, that we maybe have the deluxe version. Because of just the fact that it's nice and it feels nice and it looks nice, and it improves the experience a lot.
It is a soothing game experience, and when it comes to those, like the looks also matter, because it just makes the whole package very soothing and rewarding. I do really like this game. It's a simple recipe or auto fulfillment game, but it's just a matter of like you just get a bunch of resources and you just have to optimize, think about how you get them. Like you just get stuff, and then get points, or try to score the missions you have, and you can get. Yeah, I love it.
And I'm also highly addicted to those kind of mobile games.
Yeah.
So maybe I just have a soft spot for resource collection games.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, Flamecraft, nice. Is it? Yeah. So
number you're free.
Number you know. Yeah. My third favorite game. I think I'm gonna change this one on the spot. Yeah, because we played. Yeah, I'm gonna change.
Are you looking at my?
No. I'm looking at my list. No,
okay.
I'm changing this on the spot.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh wow. So my number 3, my former number 2 is Expedition. Expedition is the game that I played down in Essen that I raved about.
So I was like, I do not remember this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Expedition it's by Korea Board Games. It's a deck builder akin to Quest for Eldorado.
We love that game.
And we love that game. Love it. So the twist here is so what's similar is that you're racing in the jungle. And it's deck building. But whereas in Quest for Eldorado, you're racing to the finish line, here you're racing to find relics. You're racing to be the first to dig up 2 relics. Yeah. So and you're moving through these tiles, and so it has an exploration element. Like in Quest for Eldorado, you see the path.
I think I could explain this game because you have explained it to me so many times, even though I haven't played it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it has like the tile aspect, like you don't know, like the exploration aspect, like you're moving through the jungle and you don't know what you're gonna get. And it has a like push your luck element to it. So the unique thing about the deck building, like the thing it adds to the genre, is that you can buy some cards that allow you to cycle through deck. Because normally in all deck builders, when you need to draw a new card, and there aren't any cards in your draw pile, you can shuffle your discard pile. Not so here. You can't do that unless you return to base camp. So base camp is at the bottom, like all the good stuff is up at the top. So at the end of each turn, you have a choice. Do I want to go back to base camp, where it's also the only place I can buy new cards? So you need to return there at the start. Or do I think there's enough good stuff in my draw pile yet to keep moving, and maybe there are some cards that I bought that let me shuffle my discard pile. So those are definitely good. So that's a whole new type of card. A mechanic for this genre. And I loved it. Like few games give me this much of a positive impression on its first play. And it's definitely I think maybe only my number 1 made as strong of a first impression last year for me. I really like this game. Unfortunately, it's hard to find. But hopefully it will be available soon.
Right.
Big thumbs up.
Your number 2?
My number 2, my former number 3 is so this rose in the rankings for me because we've played it more since when I made this list. It is Keep the Heroes Out.
Right. Yeah.
And since Kathrine hasn't mentioned it yet, it's gonna appear once more on this list. So Keep the Heroes Out is another deck builder game. We love the genre. You're not playing as the heroes. Nope, you're playing as the monsters, trying to keep the heroes out. It's like a dungeon defender kind of game. You're protecting your treasure that's in the middle of the dungeon. And you do this by playing as asymmetric monsters. So you start with unique decks, which is what I love. Like you're not starting with weak cards, you're starting with powerful cards that are tuned to the monster you're playing. And you can buy new cards, but you shouldn't just buy any kind of card. You need to carefully consider which cards you get. It's very important.
It is.
Yeah.
We made the mistake the first time around, just filling our decks up with all the cards.
Yeah.
But that is not a good choice.
Yeah.
No sir, no sir.
No sir, no sir. We learned the hard way.
Yeah.
So again, this is another unique take on the deck building genre. I love the theme. I love the artwork. I love the variability. There's tons of scenarios. Like it's amazing what he did with this design. And there's even more expansions on the way, or at least one more expansion on the way. And we have the first one. I just love this game.
I can't disagree.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is Revive. Right.
So what is your number 1?
We don't know. It could be anything. We have already spoken about Revive, and I was just very hooked. I love Euro games, and this is very much one, and it's an exploration games, and I also love those. I do agree that the theme is not what I love the most, but it kind of doesn't matter. It's kind of thing for Euro games also that the theme is a little bit redundant.
Some of them at least. I do think some will like this theme.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it's not what draws me to the game. It's the thinking, it's the decision making, it's the race, it's the exploration that draws me to this game, and I just enjoy it so much, and I wish we had the time to play it way more often. Yeah,
that's a good point. Like calling it a race, that's like there's a race element to it. Like you're trying to get those artifacts first, and they boost how you score. Yeah, that's right. I really like it.
And my number 1 is keep the heroes out.
Surprise, surprise. Yeah.
Or I don't have much to add to it. It's addictive, and I want to play it all the time. And we are currently playing the campaign, and I just want to play it all the time.
Yeah.
I want to play. I want to play more.
Yeah.
I want to win. God damn it.
This is this year's Cubulus for us, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, highly addictive.
Fantastic game.
And your number 1?
My number 1 is one that you haven't played.
Ugh.
Yeah. So but also exciting in a way, because you don't know what it is. You've probably heard me mention it, but anyways, it is Cat in the Box Deluxe Edition.
I remember you mentioning it. Yeah. Mentioning that.
This is a Japanese trick taker. So you're playing cards, trying to win tricks, and you're trying to predict how many tricks you're gonna win. And there's even another added scoring mechanic on top of that, which I won't get into, because the main hook to this game is that you have a bunch of cards with numbers on them, but no suit, no color. And the game does have suits, but when you play the card, you're then saying what suit it is. So let's just do a quick example round. So you have and it goes to like I think 8 is the highest. So you're playing an 8 yellow. And then you're marking it as a yellow, like you have a way of marking it. And then, well, I can't play a higher than an 8 yellow because you led with yellow, and I have to follow suit if I can. But maybe I don't have any yellows. So I'm saying I don't have yellows. All these cards I have in my hand, none of them are yellows. So instead I say that it's a 2 red, which red is the trump color. But then for the rest of that round, I can't play yellow cards, which is going to come back to haunt me most likely if I do that on the very first hand. Because it limits the amount of options that I have. And if ever you can't play a card, you create a paradox and you don't get to score. Yeah, and that's not even all of it.
I see the appeal.
Yeah, and there's even more to it. Like there's an area majority in how you score. Like when you play your 8 yellow, you place down a cube on the board, and you're actually incentivized to play maybe a 7 yellow or an 8 of one of the you're incentivized to play to the adjacent spots later on because you score those groups. You score your biggest group.
Okay.
So if it sounded convoluted, it's actually not. I've played this with several groups. It's always a big hit, and it's just I have to give this, I think, a 9.5, maybe in the 10, because for a trick taker, I can't imagine you doing more or something better.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I think this adds a very neat twist to the genre, easy to play, and I just generally love the cadence of trick takers. I've discovered a huge love for trick takers.
I really do not enjoy trick takers.
Yeah, no, you
so it will never be that
you somewhat like the crew, right?
I accept the crew.
You accept the crew.
I accept the crew.
Please say something to her in the comments. But yeah, I love the simple nature of it, and you can usually play it with families and friends, and it's just very approachable. And you most trick takers, and both of those, like you can easily have table talk.
Yeah.
You can have table talk.
I do want to try Cat in the Box, but
Kathrine in the Box.
Kathrine in the Box.
Yeah, so that was my number 1. That was our number 10.
Yeah, our top 10.
And there was a lot of overlap and a lot of unique games. I think it was a good year. Halfway through the year, I was doubting, but then the good games came. Like Keep the Heroes Out is one of the last one we played.
Keep the good games out. What? No.
Anyway, I'm Board Game Hobby.
And I'm Board Game Wife.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.